Yesterday we talked about what happened. There was news updates about ASTROWORLD and what happened with Travis Scott. Basically, families turning down his offer to pay for funerals because there's like $2 billion in lawsuits now against him and the organizers of that that event.
Yeah.
So, but today we found more news on it because I was kind of bummed. Yesterday we talked about it, and then I was like, "Oh, Carter's going to be on it. We should have saved that and talked to it about him." So we might have less to say today, but there's more news on it, and that's basically that Hulu removes Astroworld documentary after getting backlash. I can't believe there's already a documentary out.
That's what I was saying.
This happened like what, 3 weeks ago?
Well,
Yeah,
it's kind of like how the Firefest was. Like they have a documentary for it.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what the Firefest was?
No.
Basically, I forgot what.
It's like a guy had a fake event on an island and charged everyone an arm and a leg, and then
Not the Ja Rule one?
That's the Ja Rule one.
Okay, I know. I call it the Ja Rule event, where he gave people like bread and like sandwich meat, and charged them like $1 gazillion.
Yeah, it's the Ja Rule one. Basically, like
Ja Rule's a national treasure, so he can't do any wrong.
Okay.
You leave him out of this, okay?
But wait, so with the Astroworld thing, what's the latest development? Because from what I heard, he's done this before. Like
he's known for inciting at concerts, but there's a fine line there. I make the nuance there because there's a fine line there between being a performer, where your literal job is to make the crowd feel an emotional connection.
Yeah.
So, like this story doesn't have. Yesterday, I basically described it as the reason that this is kind of getting like memory hold by the media. In a lot of ways, like you'd think this would be a bigger story than it is, but it's because there isn't really a clear good guy or bad guy. Like media loves black and white narratives. One villain, one hero. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with who those villains and heroes are, they paint it that way.
Yeah.
And this really can't be done that way.
Well, it's weird. I mean, I've played shows where it's like a packed house, and I was in like a pop punk screamo band once, and I was one of two frontmen, the singer and there was a screamer, and we had this one part in one of our songs where we did this thing called a wall of death, where you have people line up on each side and then run into each other.
What?
And it was maybe like 50 people there.
Can we get a reenactment of this?
I mean, yeah.
Oh my god,
But
that reminds me of Family Guy episode where they had the mattresses and run into each other.
Yeah,
we should do that.
No one got hurt. But I guess if you have like, what, 1 million people at your place? Not 1 million, but like, how many did he have? Like 100,000 or?
It had to be a lot. I don't know the actual number.
And what was he saying to do? Like rush the stage? Yeah, I guess you're going to get trampled.
Well, let's talk about the article, because first, I'm just amazed that this documentary was just done that quickly.
Yeah.
So it says, less than a month after the tragic crowd rush at the Astroworld Festival in Houston, Hulu released a documentary about the incident, even though officials are still investigating the cause. Twitter users quickly criticized the Disney-owned streaming platform for hastily putting the special together, but it was still released on Wednesday, hours later. Hulu users began reporting on Twitter that ABC News special, Astroworld Concert from Hell, I'm sorry, that name, was no longer playing on the app and website. When many saw the special was already online Wednesday, there was an instant backlash, with many calling it out as distasteful. Do you agree do you see that as a distasteful thing to do?
I don't know, because I'm curious. I'd watch it. I kind of want to watch it more now that they took it down, because I think everyone wants answers, and you could at least get some point of view. Because I heard stuff about like needles in people's arms and
I don't know if that stuff was confirmed, but they were injecting drugs in people's like necks and arms or something behind there.
See, that's a weird thing. It's
but
one of my greatest fears.
Really?
Yeah.
Better watch out.
Well, you are pretty, so somebody might do it.
I mean, it's an irrational thing to think might happen to you, but then it happened.
Somebody's walking behind you, and you're like,
I
hope they don't steal my wallet. That's what I'm thinking, and you're like, I hope they don't stab me with a needle.
Yeah, because it's so easy to just, be poked.
I am in recovery. Okay, I have a history of substance abuse. Where are these magical people just going around giving out free drugs to people without their consent?
Yeah. No, bad Rhett. Who's Rhett? I mean Brett.
It's like that they talk about when you're a kid, and they talk about like people going around giving out free samples. I'm like, where were these magical free sample givers when I was
going around like poking your fingers in like payphone holes? And
I thought I was the only one who, like, I brought that up to people here about like putting so you go to a payphone and Miracle, I don't know if you know what a payphone is.
I do, but okay. I don't know what this is.
It's like a cell phone, but it's got a cord that runs down it, and it plugs into a big box, and you put money in it, and it allows you to make a phone call.
I've never
So
used
you don't
one.
strangle people with it?
You don't strangle people with it, but there was a thing when we were kids where like they told you not to put your hand, like your finger, in like the coin return of a
Oh, the thingamajig.
the coin return of a phone booth, because they were like, there will be needles in there.
There was a guy going around, or a group of people intentionally infecting people with AIDS, was the rumor that I heard.
Yeah.
And like, ever since I heard this, I've been checking my movie theater seat every time for 20 years.
And every time you say that, somebody hears, the guy whoever started that rumor goes,
I know, and it's like, what?
Well,
Like
it's the same thing with the rumors. Like, they put razor blades into the candy bars for Halloween.
Into the apples.
In the
Apples.
apples.
Because all the kids eat the apples.
Well, it's the same thing with the strawberries. Like, I forgot what country had it, but strawberries had, like, needles in them.
What?
Or even worse, the was the chicken nuggets that had like fingers in them.
I had a guitar teacher that used to make caramel apples, but he would make it with onions. And then he would
disgusting.
give them to the kids. And
Dude, is he Shrek?
kind of fucked up.
Who hurt him?
Wait, is he
don't know.
Shrek? That's what
Is he
Shrek
Shrek?
did. Yeah, because Shrek did that.
Oh, so
This
it's
is
a
before
thing.
Shrek.
Ah.
Yeah.
So he was a Shrek bit it from him. Shrek is a
Maybe.
Shrek aped his style.
Yeah.
So it's I want to continue because first of all, the name Concert from Hell is like the most on the nose. Like, I don't know. Astroworld Concert from Hell was not a full-length documentary series like many of the true crime limited series that are popular on streaming platforms, but instead a special produced by ABC News. Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival was supposed to be a concert of a lifetime, but it turned into a tragic nightmare. The special's description reads, a minute-by-minute look at what happened in the crowd, the young victims who were killed, and what happens next. So I can see it as exploitative. Like, I'm not sure if this goes into, like, weird stuff like the free market. And
Well, who
like,
made it? Like, that's the question.
It's saying that it was produced by Hulu.
Huh.
So
That's weird.
They likely dumped a ton of money into finding a documentarian quickly who could go around and either develop the narrative structure, get film releases from people, or grab them off social media where it's like where they don't have to license and take that
Yeah.
material and turn it into something. So even right there, you're crafting a narrative behind it. I haven't seen it because they pulled it down, but you're already turning it into some type of narrative that's going to follow a storyteller's point of view.
Yeah, I guess in the sense of the word exploitative or exploitative, whichever one. Yeah, it's totally. I mean, they clearly did it for views and to be the first on the scene with the story that everyone wanted to know so much about. Yep.
So I and then you get to what is the right appropriate amount of time to wait? I don't know if there's an answer to that. Like, would you have thought about it as exploitative, or would you have just thought, oh wow, they got that out quickly?
I would thought like, oh wow, they got it out quickly.
I wouldn't
That's
have been
weird.
one to complain
Yeah.
and say, take this down, now that I've seen it, so no one else can.
I think my first thought would be like, wow, really?
Yeah.
And like, I'm not going to be the one to say like, hey, take it down.
Yeah.
That's not me. But I'm like, wow, that's
Record timing.
Like, so you're the reason why so many people are complaining about capitalism in today's society because you're borrowing off the back of people that suffered. Like, I'm not one to tell them they can't do it, but I get where that argument comes from. But that's the media. That's the media. So.
Welcome to the media.
So it says, however, some of the victims' families have rejected that. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'll start from one paragraph up. During the first day of the Astroworld Festival on November 5th, there was a crowd rush that led to the deaths of 10 people, including 9-year-old Ezra Blount, who died on November 14th. Over 300 people were treated for injuries, including 25 people who were hospitalized the night of the concert. The festival was founded by rapper Travis Scott, who had offered to pay for the funeral expenses of the victims. However, some of the victims' families have rejected that offer. Michael Lyons, the attorney for victim Misra Danish Bags? I don't know how to pronounce that name. B-A-I-G? Is that Bag?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm terrible
okay.
with names.
Said they believed the offer was a public relations move to soften people's view of Scott. Sadly for my clients, a check from Travis Scott is not going to relieve the pain and suffering that they are presently experiencing, Lyons told the Associated Press.
Aren't they suing him, though?
Yep,
Yeah.
they are.
So they probably just didn't want to accept that
$2.1 billion.
so that they could say, we didn't accept any money, so he can give us more.
Yep. But they have a right to
for
it
sure,
too.
for
Like
sure.
that's the crazy thing about something like this.
Here's a question though: what's a 9-year-old doing at a concert like that?
That was the first thing
I wasn't
asked.
allowed to go to concerts until I was 16. And
Well,
I played
He was
them
there with
before
his
then.
dad.
His dad took him. This is maybe it was like a birthday present, and his dad took him.
He was
So
on
he-
his dad's. He was on his dad's shoulders when
in
it
like
happened.
a circle pit near the stage. Like I don't understand.
In a combat zone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bizarre.
Hopefully he had earplugs. I mean, like you have to like wear earplugs at that age
I
for
mean-
a concert like that. But I can't imagine like. I mean, he's gonna be playing vulgar music too. Like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's in your experience, is this something that you can see an artist making that mistake with, like not realizing until it's too late that things are going bad, or do you think you should have? I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
I
with
mean,
that.
there's been lots of artists that I've known, or not, particularly, but you hear about that, like, some. An example would be like if someone stage dove onto somebody and hurt them, and the record label has to pay for that, or you throw a water bottle out and hit someone in the face. I've been hit in the head with a drumstick from my favorite band, actually.
Did you get to keep the drumstick?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I
Did
have
you
it.
ask them to sign it?
I didn't,
Oh.
but anyway, what was your
The
question?
no, basically, I'm saying, I was like, do you think there's like a point where you can see the artist making that mistake, where it goes too far and he just didn't realize until it was too late?
Well, what's he gonna do? Call it off?
Exactly.
Like, you're
How-
in the mode, dude. You can't even see the audience. The lights are in your face. Like
That's
you're
why-
literally not even there.
That's why I asked, like, how close was, like, was it shooting, right? The shooting to the stage. Because, like, if
I don't
it's,
think
like...
there was shooting.
shooting.
There was no shooting.
Oh, my bad.
It was what?
You said that
I
before.
think you're thinking
also.
about Jason Aldean, maybe.
Yeah, my bad. Wrong one.